Coming up today on Studio 13 Live, we are live from a Seattle classic. It is Seafair Weekend. We're checking out the hydros, the food, the Blue Angels, and so much more.
And we'll hear from the Pirates and, of course, King Neptune.
Studio 13 Live from Seafair starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening all around, like sunshine through the clouds. I'm gonna make your day.
Hello and welcome to Seafair Weekend! The whole gang is here. This is so exciting.
We are so happy to have Jody and Bender here with us. Jody, always great to see you. And I just wanted to check in with you.
Yeah.
Did you know that this guy is royalty?
You know, it
king?
does make sense now that you mention it because he has been sporting this crown and this weapon for
It's a real
couple of
sword,
weeks.
right?
It is a real. It is King Neptune's sword. Yes,
won't let
it
me
is
touch
real. It is real, and we have been enjoying. If you notice, it's like the Stanley Cup. All the kings before me have their name etched into the sword, and before it is given back, my name will be etched, but it'll be much larger than every other king before me.
That makes
Oh, just like the whole sword.
The whole
Yeah.
sword.
How does it feel being King Neptune?
It's been pretty cool, Carly. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It has been pretty cool. The power has been incredibly intoxicating.
Amazing.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
It's exciting to be here with King Neptune. This is my first Seafair. And for anyone else who just kind of wants to get the scoop on Seafair, I put together a little video for you. Here are the top 5 things you need to know about Seafair Weekend.
Seafair Weekend is finally here, so what's it all about? We've got you covered. Here are 5 things to know about Seafair Weekend in Seattle. Number 1, in case you didn't know, Seafair is a summer-long festival in Seattle and the surrounding area, and it all culminates with the Seafair Weekend Festival from Friday, August 4th to Sunday, August 6th. It's basically a holiday for anyone living in the Puget Sound. Number 2, don't forget to look up. You'll see and hear the most elite aviation teams on the planet as the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels and the U.S. Army Golden Knights headline the Boeing Seafair Air Show over Lake Washington. Expect to see everything from vintage aircrafts to parachute demonstrations, which will leave you in awe of these brave and talented pilots.
And it's Dobson.
Number 3, you've got to see the hydroplane races where teams compete with the world's fastest racing motorboats. I'm talking about hydroplanes going 220 miles per hour. You can catch the event from the Home Street Bank Cup and along the shores of Lake Washington or from the Seafair Log Boom, which is basically a big floating party. But be warned, you might get a little wet. Number 4, you can catch the Seafair Classic Car Show Saturday and Sunday. 100 muscle cars, antique cars, and all kinds of classic cars made before 1985 will be on display all along Lake Washington Boulevard. Number 5, let's talk royalty.
Here I am with a crown on my head as King Neptune 2023.
That was our friend Bender Cunningham reacting to being crowned King Neptune this year. Every year, the Seafair organization crowns Miss Seafair, Queen Alcyone, and King Neptune as the faces of the Seafair summer festivities, and they get everyone excited for the events. Ahoy! And that's 5 things to know about Seafair Weekend. Hope that gives you a good little overview of what to expect, and we'll cover plenty more on today's show.
That is a great overview. I love a good list.
I love it. I was just saying that too. That's a good job.
Thanks for clapping. That's exciting.
Excellent.
So many really cool things to check out this weekend. As you can see, the hydros are getting lowered behind us right now, so we're going to be able to get to see that in just a little bit.
I understand BMAC right now is standing live with my mortal enemies. So look, if you have any issues with the Seafair Pirates, you let me know because it's already King Neptune 2, Seafair Pirates 0. BMAC, what do you got?
Whoa! That's the garbage truck. Yeah, I'm already by some nefarious characters here, and then the garbage truck comes by and freaks me out even more. Hey, we got Captain Kidd here. We got Davy Jones. They are a part of the Seafair Pirates. Here we are. Guys, you've had an incredible summer so far. What are some of the highlights here of your summer?
Well, we've done about 6 parades already in the last couple weeks, and gone to a couple of assisted living, retirement homes, and played with a lot of kids and pillaged and plundered.
It's so much fun. You guys, I mean, yeah, I've seen you interact with some of the people out here. It's so much fun. Tell us a little bit about the boat here. What's the name of it?
This is the Moby Duck, and the Moby Duck is our traveling vehicle. We use it during the parades, and the Pirates have been in existence since 1949, and I'm the 74th Davy Jones, so it's a real honor to be here.
Oh, that's pretty cool. How long have you been doing this for?
This is my first year, so I get invited into the club, and they have me as their Davy Jones, and hopefully they'll keep me on. It's kind of tough, though. They're a tough crew. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I can tell. I mean, yeah, just big swords and everything. I hear you guys have some stuff for me, and while I get some of these costume items, because I want to learn how to become a pirate. Tell us where people can find you here this weekend.
This weekend we will be at the Magnolia Village Pub, and actually the Village Pub will be there too. But we'll be there. We'll be at the Magnolia Parade at 10 o'clock. We'll be back down here to the Hydro Pits, and then we'll be off to the Lake City Parade at 5 o'clock. Right, Captain?
We'll be gone at 5 o'clock. The parade starts at 7.
Parade starts at 7, and so those are our 2 parades on Saturday. We'll hope to see you guys out and have a happy Seafair. Looks like we got a real pirate here.
I think I'm all done up now. How am I looking? I look okay?
You're very piratey.
All right, very piratey.
Choke him.
Here, can I learn how? I saw this. This is very dangerous.
Hold that for you. You got to strike that on the ground. Sean, show him how to do it.
Hold it that way. This way. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it. Hit the baby.
Turn it around. Turn it the other way. So the blades first. Blade first.
This way.
Right
there. Right there. Nice. One more time. Give the sparks. Give him one more spark.
There you go.
1, 2. Whoa, there you go.
Okay, this is really fun. This is fun. One more time for good measure. Here we go. Are you ready? Well, thank you. Am I an honorary pirate now?
Sure. You're an honorary pirate. You've done a great job promoting us.
If you want to join up, you go to seafairpirates.org, and there's a candidate application. You can fill it out and come join us and have fun.
And it is a lot of fun, you guys. You guys do things all year long. Thank you for all the work you do in our community. And Carly and Mireya, we'll send it back to you.
What is going on?
Yeah. You know what, B-Mac? Look, that's what I get for knighting you earlier. You jumped ship, literally, to the Pirates. Thankfully, though, the knighting that took place wasn't official. It was not an official knighting.
Are you rescinding it?
And I should not have been as careful as I was with the sword next to his head.
See, that's why I tell you, you have to do background checks before you knight people.
Jody, from now on, you'll be the Duchess of Betting.
Duchess of Betting.
It sounds arguably like a feud.
Yeah, this is, look, the Seafair Pirates, they do an amazing job. Every Seafair, they go out and visit everyone. Every so often, I show up to ruin everybody's fun. But no, they've done a great job this summer.
You defended Alki Beach, right?
I did. Thank you, Carly.
Yeah.
I defended. You know what? I defended. I thought I did a really good job, and I have never seen more people in my entire life. That literally, I was there at Water's Edge, and basically, I knew there were like maybe 100 people behind me. When that ramp dropped and the Pirates came off and attacked me,
Wow.
I turned around, there were like 5,000 people behind me just like that.
No offense to the Royal Court, but the pirate landing at Alki is a West Seattle favorite.
Yeah. So it's been, but it has been an incredible summer so far.
And Jody, you have a favorite pirate too. Is
I
that
do.
right?
The guy with the largest machete. I know that sounds ridiculous, but the guy, he was just on screen. You know who I'm talking about. He's an enormous mountain of a man, and he's very piratey, and he makes me laugh. So that's my favorite.
Jody added to her file on TV.
Okay.
He does have the biggest machete. You know, the worst part is he knows who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He's going to come find you after the
That's
show.
right.
Okay?
He's going to say hi.
We're going to keep having so much fun here. And in fact, when we come back, I had the opportunity to sit down with a historian, and he's going to share the history of Seafair. So excited to show you this. We'll be right back.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening.
everybody.
Yeah, Seafair is officially open, as you can probably see and hear. The hydroplanes are just flying across the water here. They go over 200 miles an hour, and a little bit later we're going to be seeing the Blue Angels flying through the air. It is quite a time.
It's loud. And okay, I know that you guys have been to several Seafairs. View must be nice from up here this year, though.
The view is a little different this year, but yes, Seafair's fantastic.
I love it. And Jody, I have to hear your wild Seafair story.
I do have a wild story. The first year I was in town, I moved to Seattle in April from out of town, and then a couple months later my friend says, there's this thing called Seafair. Have you heard of it? And I said, no, this was the year 2000. He said, well, we have a boat. We're going to be on this thing called the log boom, and it's really the best way to experience it. And I said, well, I absolutely want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what happens on the log boom? It's just a bunch of boats and everybody's partying, the craziest party I have ever done. I said, I think I'm going to like living in Seattle.
That's right.
For the last time on the log boom.
I love taking a look back. And you know, I also wanted to learn a lot more about the history of Seafair. So I got the opportunity to do just that, and I'm taking you along with me. The Seafair Festival has been a part of Seattle history for the past 74 years, featuring the Torchlight Parade, hydroplane races, and Fleet Week, honoring those who serve. And today, I am joined by historian Felix Bonnell, so we can take a look back. Felix, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We are so happy to have you here. So tell us about Seafair and its post-World War II origins.
You know, World War II really changed Seattle radically. Tens of thousands of people moved here. The city became much more diverse. You know, it boomed because Boeing was building airplanes, and people like the middle class really established themselves in that late 40s period. And so it made sense to have some kind of a summer carnival to take advantage of the wonderful water, whether it's Lake Washington or Puget Sound or Green Lake. And so that post-war period, a time of optimism, great economic growth, let's put on a big carnival. They created this group called Greater Seattle. There was stuff going on in 1949. The Blue Angels were first here in 1949. The first official Seafair doesn't appear till 1950, but it really gets going the year after that when the hydroplanes really take hold.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the hydroplanes, you were chatting with me about this. They were actually happening all around the country at the time, but it wasn't until one of the local boats won that it really brought all of that to Seattle. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine Seattle without the Seahawks or the Mariners. But in the old days, hydroplane racing, boat racing was huge in the Northwest, even back in the 1920s. So a local boat called the Slow Motion 4 won a thing called the Gold Cup, the big national race in Detroit in 1950. That meant they could bring the race to Seattle in 1951. So the Gold Cup was held here in 1951, and that put Seattle on the map in terms of everything. That was like the Super Bowl of boat racing, and the Slow Motion 4 won it that year as well. It was just an incredible way to put this focus on the water that surrounded Seattle as a place not only for people to do recreational boating, but to celebrate like victories in an athletic contest. Lots of radio stations covered it, all the TV stations covered it. It was just, it's hard nowadays to understand one single sporting event taking over everyone's mindset for that big a part of the summer. It really was over the top.
Wow. So around the city, was it certainly something that everyone was paying attention to at that point?
Oh, little kids used to make hydroplanes out of pieces of wood to tow behind their bicycles. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. I mean, the whole city just really embraced something to root for. These hydroplanes like Slow Motion 4. Everyone knew the names of the drivers and stuff and the boat designers. It was just, it's really, there's nothing that really compares to it nowadays. Because nowadays, like, big sports are sort of segmented. Certain people like basketball or football or whatever. Everybody loved hydroplanes.
Wow, that is so wonderful. So walk me through how the festival has evolved over the years.
Yeah, it's interesting. What I really love about Seafair, the thing that hasn't changed so much, are the neighborhood festivals, like the Kitty Parade in Wallingford, or the West Seattle Hayu Days, or the Ballard Seafood Festival. And so it just changes year to year. I mean, the hydroplanes are not the big thing they once were 70 years ago. It's different. We have so many more choices now. But the natural landscape hasn't changed. The beautiful summertime weather hasn't changed. There's still this spirit, still this desire of Seattleites to get together and celebrate summer, whatever that looks like. And Seafair, I think, has responded pretty well to that. I mean, you still have the boat races, the Torchlight Parade now during the daytime. They had a daytime parade back in the 1950s, so in some ways they're returning to their early roots. I mean, it's always been sort of something for everybody. I mean, if you have little kids, especially, those neighborhood festivals work great. If you're a certain age, you want to go out on the log boom and get a boat out there and watch the hydroplane races, that works out well. Yeah. Or if you just want to like cower in your basement while the Blue Angels are rattling the windows, you know, telling your dogs to calm down. It's that too. You have no choice. You have to participate. Now that's kind of cool when we're all kind of involved in the same thing. I love it as a way of just reminding everybody that we're all in the same town, regardless of, you know, what we look like or what we do for a living or whatever. Seafair kind of unites us regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's also Fleet Week where we honor those who serve. So talk to me about how that has played a role as well.
Yeah, that's changed a lot. I mean, Seattle in the 1940s, right before Seafair was founded, I mean, the Navy is huge here. Navy bases everywhere, lots of naval activity. I mean, it's sort of, you know, you think of them as the VIPs along with the other elected officials. The Navy was a big force here. That's different now, right? There's still a Navy base in Bremerton. There's still one in Everett. But there's still this sense of honoring the people who serve by having ships you can go aboard. I remember going on a ship as a little kid, touring a naval vessel. Still have very vivid memories of those little, stepping over those little things on that you didn't trip over and not hitting your head and stuff. It's like, it's a really cool thing to combine that gorgeous natural waterfront of Elliott Bay, the fact there's so many people who live here, serve in the Navy, and we can honor them for a week like that with the Blue Angels flying overhead and everything. It's a great summer carnival and a great way to kind of, in a gentle way, not sort of force people to be patriotic. It just makes perfect sense to celebrate these wonderful things about the water and where we live.
And we are so excited to celebrate. Felix, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a look back. Always fun to see how far we've come.
That was really cool. I really enjoyed kind of seeing what Seafair used to look like too, with all that old footage. That was awesome.
So fun, from the 1950s and 60s. Wild.
Wild. And I know Bender has a little history he wants to share with us as well.
I do, from my king brethren before me. Legend has it that when the pirates, because now when the pirates show up, they just arrive at Alki, and they get off and they hope I allow entry.
Right.
Back in the day, what the pirates would do is they would literally take King Neptune's ship out in the middle of Elliott Bay and blow it up.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like hazing.
They would burn the boat. They would sink the boat, and then when the festivities were over, they would take it out further out into the Sound and sink it.
Yeah.
Now, that was the 50s and 60s. Apparently, the EPA got involved and said, no, you can't do that anymore.
That sounds like a problem.
Stop burning boats.
But that is a true story. That's what used to happen back in the day. They would burn my ship. Now you know why I'm so angry that BMAC is angry with them.
Absolutely. They really bring the drama. Well, speaking of BMAC, he is running around on the other side of Genesee Park. So right after the break, we're going to check back in with him. Stick with us. Lots more Seafair coming up. Hey, welcome back. We are live at Seafair, kicking off the weekend right. People are slowly kind of filtering in, and there's a lot to see around here.
Absolutely, and we actually just saw, maybe you can see there behind him, that Graham Trucking
Hydroplane.
Hydroplane, yeah. I was going to say boat. I was like, that's not a boat.
No,
It's
it's a hydroplane.
a hydroplane. It's way fancier. They pulled it out of the water. They just finished practicing. But it's so intense what is actually happening out there on the water.
Consider hydroplaning in your car at 50, 60 miles an hour. These guys on the water at 200 miles an hour, doing it on purpose.
And they're putting them in and out of the water with these big cranes, which are very cool.
I was
not like backing your rowboat into the water.
Yeah. I was kind of curious if a person could jump into the hydroplane and ride with them, but they're one-seaters, in case anyone was wondering.
That
Wanting to do that.
still doesn't deter you from doing it.
Oh,
but
it would be very
next career.
Yeah,
Drive one myself. Well, let's check in with Brian McMillan. Brian, what are you up to right now?
Well, I'm hanging out with the Keene family here. We have Kevin and we have Tiffany. And so, Kevin, this is your very first time here. What do you think so far?
It's amazing. Kids love it. Great weather. And, you know, there's pirates. What else could we ask?
I know there's what else can you ask for? But Tiffany, you're an old pro at this, so you know like the whole thing, where to park, where all that, right?
Yes, absolutely. I come here every year, and we're here on Friday. Get here at 9 o'clock and have a lot of fun, and pack your lunch or have some great lunch here too.
Do you have any hot tips on parking?
Yes, so around Cascadia, around Genesee Park, just 2 blocks away.
Okay,
get there early.
Get there early.
What's your favorite part here of Seafair since you've been here so many times?
It's really just checking out everything and exploring, like every booth with like kids, and like they have the robotic table here. They have games and watch the hydroplane races and just enjoy and have a good time.
And your kids look like they're loving it so far. You got look at this. Oh, he's been attacked by the pirates already. Thanks so much, you guys. Enjoy. I want to show you here. Oh boy, I can't get away from these dang pirates. Excuse me, pirates. All right, these are everywhere. They're all over the place. I wanted to show you that the Keene family over there talked about the robotics area. And I wanted to show you this. This is so cool. Just another one of these vendors that have come out here. And this right here is Natalie, and what's your name again, sir?
Darren.
Darren, and what are you guys doing out here? So, who wants to talk?
He's in charge.
Yeah, so I'm taking over the Boeing tent from my dad, Darren G. And basically we have First Washington students here that are coming here this whole weekend to be able to talk to the community about First and what the program is, which is for inspiration recognition of science and technology.
And they got robots back here. Check out some of this. This is so cool. Can people come down here and kind of operate these and see what they do?
Yep, adults, children, anything in between, come join us and come check out the program and talk to these kids about what they've been doing on and off the season. Really thankful to Boeing for being able to, support this space to us and being a big contributor to the First program and Seafair as well for the whole weekend.
You said it's for kids, but kind of for kids at heart too, right?
All kids at heart. In fact, if you look around, we have from the smaller age groups. I mean, we've got a little guy over here driving a robot right now. He's probably 4 or 5. And then over here, we have these guys over here. They're probably like 12, maybe 10, 11, 12. And then so ages from kindergarten on up to high school get involved. And again, gets back to Boeing, thanking Boeing for them investing into this program for robotics.
Seafair weekend, obviously just a huge weekend. It's so much fun, and there's so much to do down here, you guys. Yeah, it's all free. Come on down, check it out. And I mean, there's a little something for everybody. Of course, you got the hydroplane races, which are going to be an absolute blast, but there's so much more. We just walked by a bunch of food carts that look fun. The Pirates, as you met earlier, and you get to do some cool things like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, you guys. And we'll send it back to Carly and Mireya in just a bit. But first, we'll be right back after this.
I wanna see you smile, take you.
Hey, welcome back to Seafair Weekend. This is the place to be in the Puget Sound. Wouldn't you agree?
It is. It is amazing. But I have a question. I've been wondering about this. You are deserving, my friend, but how is it that one becomes king around
How
here?
does one become the king?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe I should answer.
Okay.
He's way too modest to answer this question. They appointed him King Neptune because of the tireless, and I mean tireless, it's not an exaggeration, work that he does for Seattle Children's. Not just our big event that we do, One Big Give in December, but all year long, he's always working for Seattle Children's. He is a machine, an absolute charity machine, so he deserves it.
Appreciate that. Thank
And
you.
now I've said something nice about him, so
How
I
is
guess
he
I can
done for the year?
Here's a chance to be a little shady. How has he changed since he became King Neptune?
I
Is
like
it
it.
going to his head?
He wears a crown and carries a sword, which is unusual.
I love
Hard to
it.
get the headphones around the crown, I'm just saying. But
Yeah, I mean, previously I was the only one with a weapon, but now we both do.
Well, we actually have another member of Seafair royalty on our team. Our segment producer, Rio Barber, greatest person in the world. She was actually Miss Seafair about 10 years ago in 2013, and she's taking a little walk down memory lane with some other Miss Seafarers, and they're going to tell us all about the scholarship program for women. Take a look.
As we reminisce on the past 74 years of Seafair, we have to honor some very important women in the festival's history. You may notice some shiny accessories on our heads. Well, that's because I'm joined with past Seafair royalty, the 1967 Seafair Queen, Linda Russell, Miss Seafair 2009, Jackie Serenas, and Miss Seafair 2017, Axa Molina. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is such a wonderful reunion. So great to see you all after all these years. And so Miss Seafair was previously known as the Seafair Queen or Queen of the Seas up until 1972. And I'm sure the festival was very different back then. So Linda, talk to us about, how they selected the Seafair Queen and how that felt for you when you were crowned.
Well, I represented a small community at that time, which was basically standing timber. I had just graduated high school. I had a high school teacher that said, do this. 24 other gals were competing that year. It felt very like everyone was definitely queen material when I walked into the original. But it was a secret group, and you would, over the course of maybe 3 weeks, you went to a variety of functions and chatted with people, and of course there was whispering, like, I wonder if it's that person or that person, but you actually never knew until the actual night of it. And it was done at the intermission for the Lawrence Welk show. So it was in the Coliseum, thousands of people. It felt, you know, like, wow. And they passed a large crown over the entire group of girls that were there, and back and forth, and it landed on me.
Amazing. And the rest is history. And so
the rest is history.
One of your duties even included flying in an airplane for the very first time. Tell us about that and some of your favorite memories from your reign.
It was my very first time in an airplane, although my father worked for Boyd for a zillion years. But we went to the Aloha Days in Honolulu, and it was my first trip, and it was just very exciting. And I ended up spending 35 years at Alaska Airlines as a flight attendant after that. So.
That's wonderful. Yes, and so Jackie, you were crowned Miss Seafair in 2009 when you were going to school at Seattle University. So talk to us about how the scholarship program for women helped change your life and really open opportunities for you during that year and beyond.
The scholarship allowed me to have my junior year completely paid for, which was wonderful. And from that, I was able to really focus on not only my studies, but my volunteerism. So as we all know with Miss Seafair, there's a lot of duties that come with that, which I loved and I embraced. But I also really enjoyed being able to do that and continue to be a big sister through Big Brothers Big Sisters, and provide some help by creating or helping to build houses in New Orleans during that time too. So that was all thanks to Seafair. But most importantly, I was able to walk away being a more confident individual, specifically a more confident interviewer, a more confident public speaker. And for that, I am forever grateful to Seafair.
Yes, that is so incredible. Hundreds of appearances throughout that summer. One of the photos you saw there, you actually got to meet Mariners legend Edgar Martinez, who was a Grand Parade Marshal during your year. What was that like, too?
Oh, he is the sweetest, sweetest individual. He is just as sweet, everyone. But, you know, Seafair, when I think of Seafair, one of the highlights is community and engagement, whether it's the Seattle Chinatown Parade or Bonadori, Pista Sanayon, or the Seafair Torchlight Parade. And I feel like it's a huge piece of Seattle, especially a Seattle summer.
Yes, I absolutely love that. It really, truly does celebrate the diversity of our region. So, AXA, you became Miss Seafair in 2017, and a big part of your duty is, again, speaking at those schools and really inspiring the younger generation to help give back to their communities. You were able to shed light on an organization you were super passionate about back then, and you still continue to do that to this day. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my platform was Wrestle Like a Girl. The purpose of Wrestle Like a Girl is to empower girls and women through the sport of wrestling to become leaders in life. And so what that meant was, like, to be a wrestler, you have to be a confident person. You have to look your opponent in the eye and be able to take them down. You have to be gritty. You need to just be a strong-minded individual. Wrestling made me a huge individual, not just for Miss Seafair, but just outside of and everything.
Love that. And talk to us about maybe one or two of your favorite memories during your reign, even outside of that as well.
There is this time I was talking to this young girl. She might have been 7 years old, and she was telling me about how she wasn't confident because people at school were making fun of her because she had a unibrow. And I was like, hey, it's okay. I was like, if you look closely, right here, I was like, I have some hair too. Through Miss Seafair, I was able to gain confidence. You can have these experiences in life that are gonna make you more confident as well. And I actually gave her a little Wrestle Like a Girl pin too for her, so she can remember me and the moment we had. And that was the best thing, because that's what it means to be Miss Seafair, is to be a role model to individuals and young girls.
And I remember myself even being one of those young girls at the parades, looking up to these beautiful women to see this message that we're able to help convey and help build that confidence in others for the next generation is just truly incredible. So thank you so much, Linda, Jackie, and AXA. Thank you for walking down memory lane with us. What an amazing part of Seafair and Seattle history.
All right, and Rio was showing off a lot of that history there, but we actually have a picture of her during her reign. She is there with the Seafair Commodores. For more than 70 years, they've actually volunteered as goodwill ambassadors for the festival, and they raise funds for the Seafair Scholarship Program for women. So we want to say thank you to them, and the current Miss Seafair is Savannah Parker.
Savannah Parker. Yeah, Savannah Parker has quickly become one of my favorite people in the entire world. She is an incredible young lady. She goes to DePaul University in Chicago, grew up in Seattle, and because the royalty court is based upon philanthropy, she has done an incredible job in her own community. So props to Savannah Parker.
Yeah.
Miss Seafair.
So great. Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. Are you guys into classic cars at all?
Oh my God, yes.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people.
Well, there are a lot around here, among many other things that we can check out here at Seafair Weekend. So I believe our friend Brian McMillan is checking in on those cars right now. What do you have to show us, Brian?
These are so cool, you guys. And I'm here with Randall Dickey. And can you tell us about these cars that we're going to see here?
Well, this is just an example of what we will have here on Hydro Weekend, both tomorrow and Sunday. And there's just a few of the cars. And what you're going to see is cars that are in original condition, restored to where they were like when they rolled off the showroom floor in the year. And then you'll have modified, like Stan's car here. And we'll even have some that are custom, where it's the drivetrain and the body is modified.
It's so fun seeing some of these old cars. I know it's going to bring back a lot of memories. How did you get involved? Why did you want to get involved in all this?
I've always been involved with the classic cars. I took a break for a while, but now that I've retired, 13 years ago, I bought the Mustang and got back into it, got into a few car events. And then when Seafair in 2019 started the classic car show here at Seafair, I thought, oh, yeah, that's my baby.
Got to do that. Where can people see it?
They can see it here, and we're starting at the pits.
Okay.
And all these classic cars will be lined up all along the water.
How many will there be?
Over 80.
Wow, that's great.
Yes, and it'll end somewhere around the start-finish line of the Hydros.
How cool is that? So
Yeah.
if you're into this sort of thing, you got to come on down and see this. I got to meet Stan over here. Stan, first off, I love your car, and we're gonna check it out here in just a second. I hear you're a part of the Hot Rod Hall of Fame here in Washington State. That's a huge honor.
Yes, my wife and I were both inducted last year. The Hot Rod Hall of Fame is a group that was put together clear back in 1986, and it was designed to foster and mentor new young hot rodders. And so we give out scholarships. We have a huge banquet at the end of September in which we collect $20,000 or more.
And what's this community like? What's the Hot Rod community like?
Hot Rod community is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's, everything from not just classic cars, but even the Toyota, the Corolla, all of those, including rat rods. So that is the entire hot rod community.
That's so cool. I got to show this off while we still have time here. Look at this. I mean, this car right here, just if nothing else, it's going to bring back memories for people, isn't it?
It is. We do our car shows to actually take you back to the 50s. So when people see our car, we'll have a drive-in theater, speakers there, we'll have the diner tray, and it's all about the year of the car's manufacturer. Now, mine's a hot rod. It's a remake of my high school hot rod. So we got it about 17 years ago. We put close to 25,000 miles a year on it. Don't tell my insurance company.
Well, too late now. Too late. Hey, I got to go say hi to Martin real quick here. We want to take a look at his car. Tell us about your beauty right here, Martin.
Well, my first car was a 54 Chev 4-door. I wanted a convertible. I found this 30 years ago up at Whidbey Island.
And you found it, and you had to be incredibly excited.
Oh, incredibly excited. And it did not look anything like this. My brother owns a body shop, and that's why it looks like this. He's a fantastic painter.
And Dante, we got to show this real quick. We'll take a look at the inside here in just a second, but you got to take a look at this. How did you get well, tell us what that is. It's a Blue Angel.
Yeah, the original hood ornament was all pitted out, so I stashed it aside, and when Seafair came along, I thought I could paint that up. And my brother's body shop's got one of the best painters in the city, and he just did a terrific job for me.
So incredibly cool. Is it okay if I get inside?
Yes.
All right. Guys, and what year is this car again?
1954.
1954, like stepping back in time. It's perfect. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. And guys, how about that horn, huh? There you go. We'll send it back.
That was so cool. So many fun cars to check out. Something else we want to show you.
Yes.
These hydroplanes. It's just like ramping up and up over here.
Yeah.
And it's actually not just adults that are driving these either.
Yeah,
We've got some kids.
These are called, is it?
The outboard hydros.
Yes, and I love it. We hear there are girls and boys on these. Brave brave children.
I love it. See, Carly, that's what you can do.
Yeah, that's more approachable, but still pretty intimidating. I'm really impressed by that.
They're going
oh my
fast.
gosh.
Look at this.
Wow. That is awesome.
Look, I've been on a boat once or twice, and it's never gone well, so I am just really impressed.
Look at this kid back here. Got the camera tied over there or no? This kid over here has got his full gear and his helmet and everything.
Yeah, we're
Look at
getting
they're being
a
told they
little-
can't move the camera. Stop it.
That's okay. That's okay.
I might stick with my paddleboard for now.
Yeah, for
Honestly,
now.
slow and steady.
We're going to make you go, give you a lot of coffee, make you go really fast, okay?
What else are you guys interested in checking out during Seafair weekend? If you had to pick one thing.
Okay, well, I really love the races, but
Yeah.
when we walked back here, all the snacks.
All the food, I know. Lots of meat on sticks. Going around and around. That's what I saw.
Everything on a stick.
Yeah.
And of course the Blue Angels.
The Blue Angels.
And of course Blue Angels in town.
And the Golden Knights. I think they're going to be jumping out of planes with parachutes. It looks pretty wild, but we've got plenty more coming up right after the break. Stick with us.
Welcome back, everybody. We are having a blast here.
Absolute blast. Bender, I hear you've been knighting people.
I have been, yes. As King Neptune, that is part of my role here in the community. I am the overlord of Puget Sound.
The overlord.
That's correct. If you saw earlier, I knighted Brian.
You have to take it away.
And you saw where that. I totally took the knighthood away.
Yeah.
Because he sided with the Pirates earlier in the broadcast.
So how does one get chosen to be knighted?
It goes through Seafair, and it goes through the process of it is all based upon community involvement.
Okay.
And you guys, with your show since the beginning of the year, I'm thinking to myself, I could informally knight the two of you because you have earned it.
Yay! I feel like maybe we have, Your Majesty. Thank you for thinking of us.
Yes, I believe you have. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
Jody's a little. We've been doing this for how long now? And I could have been doing this every morning.
Some people deserve a knighthood and some people don't, I guess.
It's okay. I'm
You
sorry.
guys are fun. It's okay.
Here we go.
I do other things.
So, Mireya, will begin with you. Mireya, I would like to deem you the Duchess of AM midday television.
All hail.
All hail.
All hail.
All hail, Mireya Garcia. Nicely done. Congratulations.
My liege.
Yes.
My overlord.
Carly.
Oh my God.
Carly, look at Carly's like, oh my God. Carly, of all your accolades, this one will top it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Carly, I will deem you the Duchess of
entertainment.
of entertainment and all of the greatest red carpet interviews.
Thank you, Bender. I mean, King Neptune.
Go forward as Carly Henderson can go forward. You are, the two of you together are the greatest team that midday television has ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. All right.
Hey, don't let me down like Brian did.
We won't.
We won't.
We won't. And
No
we
more
want to
hanging with
check in
pirates.
with Brian, in fact. Let's take a look at what he's up to.
Hey guys, I'm here with Katie Brown, and she is one of the J Hydro drivers, and you were just out there, right? How did it go?
It went pretty good. I got first with both my heats, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. How long have you been doing this for?
About, I'm gonna say 5.5 years, maybe 6.
Okay, and if I remember right, your parents both have a history with all of this stuff as well, right?
Yeah, my dad's actually running a vintage boat next after this, and my mom races, or my mom's dad raced, and same thing on my dad's side.
Okay, well, what's it like being on one of these? I know they can go up to like, what, 40 miles an hour or so. What's it like being out there?
It depends on what class you're in. With these, I mean, these things go probably about up to 40, depending on the class. But in J Hydro, these go 40. It really depends on who you're racing and what course you're racing, if it's big or small, whether you want to put in all that effort.
And we can see some of your competition going out there right now. What are some of the keys? Like, if you were telling somebody doing this for the first time, what are some of the things you have to think about when you're taking turns, you're going on straightaways, all of that?
Well, the most basic answer is go fast, turn left.
Yeah.
Go fast, turn left, don't turn right. But, I mean, just do whatever you're comfortable with. It's not like you're trying to set the world on fire. Just do what makes you comfortable, and if that means you staying in the back, then that's what it is.
How long do you want to keep doing this? This is so cool that you're involved.
I want to do it my whole life. That's just what I want to do.
I know there's not like a ton of women in the sport here, and I mean, I think it would be so cool for you to keep doing this here.
I mean, I'm getting into bigger classes as I'm getting older, and it's definitely opening up opportunities of how long I can do this for and what I can do. So
it's so cool. I got to think that the other kids at school have to think that this is pretty cool. You go to Issaquah High, right? So they got to think this is pretty cool.
I've had to explain what Seafair is to a couple of people already, so because no one really knows. They know it by the Blue Angels, but like I just say, you know, the boats that they show at baseball games. I race a smaller version of those.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to describe it. For somebody, if somebody wanted to get involved in something like this, maybe they don't have a family background like you do. How do you get out here? How do you start kind of from scratch?
Well, we've got. My answer would be talk to my dad because he kind of knows everyone and he could probably point you in the right direction. But there's a boat over there that. It's New Folks in Boats.
Yeah, it's a Seattle Outboard Association, right? And they can kind of get you linked up.
SOA can definitely do it. If you're here, stop by. If you're interested in running, you got to be. The J class is between 9 and 16. So.
All right, so you got to be at least 9 years old here. And before we go, can you show us your boat real quick and show us how the controls work and all of that?
Well. You sit in the boat on your knees, and you've got your throttle, one hand for your throttle and the other one for your steering wheel. So you're kind of just sitting like this the whole time.
So you're kind of leaning over. I actually didn't know that you sit on your knees, so okay, that makes sense.
You sit on your knees. Usually you have to duck down deep that's how you get faster, because there's not air hitting you, it's going over you. So, but you know, we didn't have to do that here. It's just for fun, so.
Very cool. Katie, congratulations on today. Thank you so much. And hey, we're going to be back right after the break here on Studio 13, live from Seafair. Not multiple choice, just so you know. This is making it harder.
That's how I pass my classes.
Hey, we're back, everybody.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, sorry, we're having too much fun.
Hold it. What is that?
This? It's a pirate pin. I became a pirate. Oh, yeah. That's probably a conflict of interest.
Hold on.
Hold on. He's taking it back.
Starts there. I'm taking it away. I'm sorry.
Oh. And now it's removed.
Now you're no.
Full pirate.
But these two are knighted.
Yeah.
We're duchesses.
That's what happens when you hang out with pirates, I guess.
You'll be all
Let's
right.
get to some trivia.
You have your other friends in your buddy.
I can't believe you took it away. Okay, so we're going to do a little Seafair trivia.
Okay.
Let's go.
957 The Jet versus Studio 13 Live.
Let's go.
Woo!
All right, and then we're going to start here. Let's see here. We're going to start with you two.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start here. All right, so, ladies, what was the very first year Seafair was held? The very first year.
In the 1950s. 1953? 1953.
1953 is incorrect.
Bender.
I mean, with the math, it's 1949.
1949 is correct.
Let's go, Jet Team.
That is correct.
And I'll take King Neptune on
Same
your
crown,
team.
same sword from 1949.
You
Wow,
said
is it
Louis.
really?
That's why he knew.
Oh, very cool. Okay, all right. So you guys stole their point. You get to answer the next question here. Here we go. Which Seafair tradition started this whole thing? What started it all?
Whoa, is that multiple choice?
No, it's not.
No.
I'm sorry.
Well, I know it's not the Blue Angels.
It's not the Blue Angels. It's not the Hydroplanes.
Not the Hydroplanes, not the Blue
And it
Angels,
can't be
right?
maybe it's the Pirates.
Maybe the milk cart.
Because if they were doing the Pirates back in the... Let's do the Pirates.
We'll do the Pirates landing at Alki.
You are correct. It is the Pirates.
Let's go, Jet Team.
Jody and Bender with two.
That's right.
Here we go. All right, ladies,
right.
you can catch up. It's still anybody's game.
Okay.
Here we go. In which year was the Seafair half marathon added?
There's a half marathon?
There's a half marathon. I'll give you a hint. It was in the 2000s, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to say 2010.
2010 is incorrect. Jody
I'm going to
Bender.
say 2008.
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. 2002.
It's gotta
A little
be
more
back in
recent.
the
A little more
80s.
recent.
A little more recent.
I'm going to say...
Is that a hint, or is he
Here, I'll
trying
get-
to
well,
get us
no,
off
yeah,
track?
yeah,
I'm going to say, because this is fascinating television of us
Yeah.
just sitting here talking
What do you think? I don't know.
We gotta make this multiple choice next time.
19, right?
No.
He said
Still tuning nothing. All right, ladies, here we go.
What was the answer?
It was 2013. 2013. The Seafair Triathlon was held on the shores of which local lake?
Lake
Washington. 1-2. All right. Before being called Miss Seafair, what was the official title? Before being called Miss Seafair, what was the official title?
Well, she could, the princess, maybe? Because you got the king, you got the queen.
King Neptune, Queen Halcyon, Miss Sea.
Princess. Let's go princess.
Yeah, let's go princess.
Princess, no, I'm sorry, Seafair Queen. Seafair Queen. All right, we'll bring it back to you guys here. Who did King Neptune and his royal court battle for control of the city and the festival?
The pirates!
The pirates! You know what, Bieber? Hold on, I'm taking it off.
He's taking it off.
Can you do it again? Come on.
Sorry.
We've had such a fun time. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm gonna remain a pirate.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening all around like sunshine.